In today's modern society, we have gotten so far away from the way things are supposed to be, whether it's the decline of morality, spiritual decline, physical decline, relationships, family, the way we view each other, our social abilities to socialize and be amongst one another. In today's society, we've gotten so far away from everything that is good in our society. And I want to give my thoughts and talk a little bit about something that's been on my heart for a little bit as it pertains to relationships and families. And I think there's one big mistake that I see a lot of people making as they coming up in the ranks, from high school on up, in relationships. And I want to give my thoughts on it. Y'all stay tuned. What's going on, y'all? Much love, peace, and blessings. This your boy, Get a Mic. Really appreciate everybody checking to the channel. I would like to take this time to invite you all to subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content. Feel free to hit the bell icon so that way you get notified, all that good stuff. Drop your thoughts in the comment section if you feel differently, or if you have your own thoughts or things you've been thinking about. Similarly, if you have your own stories that you want to tell as it relates to this topic. Now, there's a lot of things that I see going on in today's society as it relates to relationships, okay? But one of the big things that I've noticed, that I've seen throughout my years, that a lot of people make this mistake. And I always try to tell you guys that nothing is 100%. We're going to have everybody's situations are going to be different. We're going to have a whole heap of different, situations. Okay. So if the shoe doesn't fit, don't wear it. But what I will say is one of the things that I've seen happen, amongst my peers, family members, and so on and so forth, a lot of times relationships, we have issues in that department, and a lot of people grow old. They stay single for a long time. A lot of people are lonely. A lot of people just haven't seemed to got it together when it comes to the whole marriage and relationship thing. And one of the things that I've seen that's been a problem is that a lot of people in relationships, what they would do is they end up breaking off the relationship with the person who they were supposed to be with, or they never really, made that leap to be with the person they're supposed to be with. I see this so many times throughout history where people had the one they were supposed to be with, but because it was easier to leave and it was easier to break up, they messed up the person they were supposed to be with, the person they had the most compatibility with, the person that they had the most love for in their heart, the person that loved them the most, the ones that treated them right. I see this happen so many times. Small circumstances, small problems, or things that could be worked out over time with the growth, because everybody is young. We're all trying to find our way. We all got these things that we're working on, goals and attributes we're trying to reach. And a lot of times those things can come in the way of our love and relationships that we have with the people that we're supposed to be with. And the why I choose that word when I say the people we're supposed to be with is because you'll see there, like, let's use this for example. In grade school, when we're all coming up in school, there's almost as equal amount of men as there is women in the classrooms, right? Boys and girls. For some reason, as you start to get up, out of high school, going to college, once you're out of college, you get into the workforce, there's a lot of, start to be what women would say is there's not a lot of good men to go around, is what you hear a lot of. There's not a lot of men. But like I always like to say is when I was in school, there was almost equal amount of boys in the class as the girls. And a lot of times we expect people to be perfect, and we have issues with people when they're not perfect. And I think that's the biggest thing. One of the biggest issues we have is because human beings are not perfect. A lot of times I see people screwing up their whole life because they didn't stay with the person who they would have grown properly with, and they would have built something with. They would have started families with. They would have, eventually grew together, start learning how to work together, grew a love for each other, built families, built kids, had kids. And I see this happen a lot where there's something small that happens. Somebody make a mistake, right? Maybe there was a situation where they felt like there was some infidelity that happened when they were young. A situation where, just there's so many different situations that can make people break up. And I feel like a lot of people, they try to choose the easy route and say, I don't need this, I don't have to stay, it's not gonna work, that didn't work for me. It's a lot of stuff. And now in a lot of circumstances, don't get me wrong, that is the case where a lot of times it don't work. I get that. But for people to be in their 40s and 50s single, if they're not like, married, or the person died, or, they become a widow or something like that, you see a lot of people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, late 30s, that's just living their life by themselves. And I guarantee you, out of all the life that they've been living, they came in contact with the person that they were supposed to be with for the long run, and they blew it and they messed it up. I see this happen time and time again. People start families, right? And then they let something small break up the family, and then they go through the court system. They have all these issues, just a whole bunch of drama. Then they start to resent each other. The kids, hate each other one way or the other. They hate the parent, or the mother make the kid hate the parent, the dad, or vice versa. So it's just a whole bunch of dysfunction, where if a lot of times, if people would just stick things out, try their best to stay together. And I understand we do live in a world where a lot of times relationships and marriage is not something that's glamorized. It's not something that's put in a great light. Okay, they make being single was fun and was good. Okay, single this, that, we going out, we partying, we living our best life, hot girl summer, all that good stuff, right? But 9 times out of 10, I've seen where there was somebody that was together with somebody, let's say they were younger, or early 20s or whatever, and they were in relationships together, and small drama and stupid stuff and little activities that people trying to learn and grow, and they decided to break it off and go their own way. And you know what I mean? And I feel like a lot of times there's so many instances where the person was supposed to stay together. If they would have just worked it out and stayed together, by the time they got in their mid 30s and they start to see the world differently, they start learning how to manage their money properly, they start learning how to get their credit right, buying property. If you would have just stuck it in there with the people that made you feel a certain way in your 30s, and you really cared about that person, and you spent time with that person, and you had a family, you made kids, I feel like a lot of people let things come in between what's important. They break it off. They try to do the easy way. It's easier just to leave, and it screws them up for the long run. And then people, they separate, they go on to get their own families, they go on to do different things in life. And you see men and women be single way into their 40s and 50s and 60s. And it's just like, at that point, it's hard to get with somebody, because everybody's done kind of got a routine going in their life. They got a career going, they stuck in their ways. You know what I mean? Just a whole bunch of things might have happened. Something tragic might have happened. We got a lot of trauma. So in my personal opinion, if there's younger people listening to me, or, early, 30s, mid 20s, things of that nature, if you got somebody that you love and that love you like unconditionally, don't let small stuff get in the way of that and have you, have you breaking up and going the rest of your life single because you're not compatible with nobody else. Life in this earth as we know it is short. We don't have a lot of time to fool around, bouncing from person to person, trying to find out who we need to be with. When 9 times out of 10, you've had the person that you were supposed to spend your life with, but you blew it because small things happen. And I always like to say this, and I always like to talk about this. You have to see your significant other, your boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, whatever. You have to see that person as family. If you can start to see that person as a family member, that you don't want nothing bad to happen to this person, that's the only way in which relationships is going to last. I've had people ask me before, when it comes to my relationship, are you in love with her? Do you love her? Are you in love? Are you in love? Like, speaking from an instance of romance, or that googly feeling that you have in the early parts of your relationship. And I always like to tell people, when it comes to my woman, my wife, I care about her well-being. I care about every breath she takes, that she's alive on this earth. I care about her health, whether she's sick. I want to help take care of her. I want to make sure she's happy. You have to care about the other person in order to make relationships work. It's not about the googly feeling. How did this person, I felt, a certain way, but hormones was raging and I felt good about this person, but I didn't really love them and all. Like, bro, you got to find somebody that love you and that you love them, and you got to stick with that person. So in my personal opinion, that's one of the biggest mistakes a lot of people make when they start to grow old and they be single for a long time and they can't seem to find nobody, is because they already had the person they were supposed to be with. 9 times out of 10, there's somebody that treated you good, that relationship worked out, and you let something small come between you and you blew it. And I think that's a lot of mistake. That's the biggest mistake I see a lot of people make, is that they let the person go that they were supposed to spend their life with over something small and stupid. So if you listening to me right now, if you got somebody that you love, that love you back, don't worry about what's going on in the rest of the world with relationships. You grab that person, y'all figure it out, you stick together, leave everything else outside, and y'all keep everything in-house, and you grow together, you make a family together, and you build. You try to build something great going into the future, because life is short. We don't live that long here on this earth, and you want to be able to have something to pass to your kids instead of a whole bunch of trauma and heartache. But that's just my thoughts. You guys let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I will be doing these type of topic videos where I just discuss certain issues, whether it be relationship, whether it be community issues, whether it be what's going on in the world, war, whatever else. Whatever topics I think about, I'm going to drop it. You guys let me know in the comments what you want to see. This your boy, Get a Mic. Much love, peace, and blessings. Smash the like button, and I'll holler at y'all in the next video. Peace out, y'all.